What's going on, everybody? Cabana Greg here, and in today's video we're going to be doing another post-platinum review, this time for Toem on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So welcome back to another video here on the channel, and if you are new to the channel here, a post-platinum review is just me talking about a game, its trophy list, so all the various trophies that you can earn in that game, and more specifically we're going to be talking about the game's Platinum Trophy. Now typically I like to do these post-platinum reviews immediately after having gotten the Platinum in that particular game, just so that the game itself and the trophy list and the Platinum Trophy, right, are all kind of fresh in my head, and I'm able to give you all an accurate depiction of whether or not this Platinum Trophy is fun, easy, things like that. So we will be briefly discussing the game, right, but we'll also be going through each individual trophy to kind of give you an idea of whether or not you should go ahead and Platinum Toem in this video. If you have an interest in checking out my other post-platinum reviews that I've done on this channel for Ape Academy 2 and Dreams on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, you can go ahead and check out those videos. I'll leave links to those down below, and I'll also put up those cards so you guys can check those out if you want. Guys, if you are new to the channel here, maybe consider subscribing if you want to see more stuff like this. And if you are a returning viewer, as always, super appreciate you coming back for more stuff like this. Alrighty, now on to an actual discussion about Toem as a game. Toem is a cute and quirky independent game that was developed by Something We Made and follows your main character as they embark on this journey across various different locales to experience a once-in-a-lifetime phenomena known by the locals as Toem. And this is a photography puzzle adventure game. It's really cute. You basically, you get your camera in the very first level of the game. You go through a tutorial on how to use the camera, right? How to zoom, how to change the positioning of the camera, how to use filters, things like that. And once you kind of have this general framework in mind, the game sort of sets you out on these pretty large levels that task you again with using your camera to solve various puzzles. And it is one of those very chill, relaxing games that you can kind of unwind to after a long, stressful day. Maybe you play this alongside other games that are maybe a bit more heavy, a bit more weighty. This is a very chill experience. It is honestly one of my favorite games that I've played as of late because it really evoked this feeling of calmness. This was free on PlayStation Plus, and so if you have it in your backlog and you maybe haven't gotten around to it, please check it out. It is really charming and a lot of fun, and I love the puzzles. And the best thing about this game is that the pacing is so consistent. I found myself breezing through the first two levels. There were some minor things in level 3 that I was, trying to figure out to 100% that level. But I was able to at least get to the next, the final, 4th and 5th sections without any issues. So if you were debating on whether or not you wanted to pick up Toem in the first place, right, I would highly recommend Toem as a game. I think you would have an awesome time playing it and experiencing Toem. But now let's shift over to actually talking about Toem as a trophy list, a set of trophies, right? Talking about the game's Platinum Trophy. I think the core sort of gameplay experience that you have with Toem also translates well into its trophy list. And by that I mean it is a very relaxing, easygoing trophy list that has very few surprises, but the ones that are there are very good. And the entirety of the trophy list, as we'll go through in just a second, is really contingent on you doing and seeing everything possible in the base game. So that would include doing all of the puzzles in each of the various levels, right? Going through each of the challenges in the various sections, and then also keeping track of some of the more pivotal main characters that you should be photographing as well to get some of the more character-specific trophies that we'll discuss in just a bit too. So we've talked a little bit about Toem as a game and Toem as a trophy list, but now we're actually going to shift over to taking a look at the individual trophies that make up Toem's Platinum Trophy. And this will hopefully give you a better understanding as to, maybe some of the trophies that you need to look out for. Maybe there's some trophies that require specific action from the player, and I'll go through those as well. But yeah, so let's take a look at all the trophies that make up Toem's Platinum Trophy, and this will hopefully give you a better understanding of what the Platinum Trophy for Toem requires out of you. Alrighty everybody, so here we are once again taking a look at Toem's trophy list on PSN profiles. And so yeah, we're going to just go through the individual trophies now to kind of give you a better idea as to whether or not you should Platinum Toem. So taking a look here, only at the base game, we've got 20 bronze, 13 silver, 4 gold, and 1 Platinum Trophy for a grand total of 38 trophies. So I wanted to go ahead and go through this trophy list maybe by starting through some of the unmissable trophies, some of the trophies that you'll just get playing the game, right? Some of the trophies that you'll just get without even trying, right? And most of those are going to be found at the bottom here. Before I go to the bottom though, the very first trophy in the base game's trophy list is going long. So you just walked 1,000 miles. This one for me personally, since I was trying to do, everything in each of the levels before going to the next levels, I think this only took me maybe until around the second or beginning of the third area of the game. So didn't take that long at all. And again, you will just get this naturally playing the game. As you can see, it is an extremely common trophy to unlock. And that's just because you're playing the game, right? You're just walking around, solving the puzzles with your camera, things like that. So going along, you don't really have to worry about. But the first ones I wanted to go to are actually at the bottom. Alrighty, so here we are. Just wanted to go through these trophies first. The big city, calm forest, set sail for good weather, snowy peaks, and so close now. So these trophies are all story related. They're unmissable. But the basic idea here is each time you visit a new location, each time you unlock a new section of the game, right, you'll sort of have these trophies pop. And the way that this happens is, like I said earlier, this is a puzzle photography, game. And you'll start off each level where you'll have maybe 10 puzzles, 12 puzzles, 15 puzzles. And what you have to do is you have to solve, however many puzzles you're able to solve. But typically at the beginning of each level, you'll know, hey, if you solve 8 puzzles, you'll get 8 stamps, and then you can use these stamps to redeem a bus stop voucher, which will take you to a new section of the game. So that's really all you have to do. Just keep solving puzzles, right? However many puzzles it takes for that specific section of the game. When you get enough of those stamps, you can redeem it for a bus stop token, right? Bus stop pass, which will allow you to go to the next level. But again, if you're going for 100% completion, which you will need to, you'll be able to go through all of these pretty easily, right? Because you'll just have to go and complete all of the puzzles for each section in the base game of Toem. But I wanted to talk about those first and, kind of get those out of the way just so you all know how the general flow of that game, of this game actually works. So moving past these now, we could probably start back here at the top. Okay, so now remember how I talked about the locations, right? Those location-based trophies. Every time you unlock a new location, you get a trophy. Well, within each location, there's actually there's 1 or 2 special characters that you need to do puzzles for or solve puzzles for. And after solving these puzzles, their character icons are actually going to show in this little glittery, sparkly effect around them. And that actually indicates that you can take a photo of those characters, and that will actually give you a trophy for each of those activities. So those are Sparkling Jump, 100 Followers, A Great Story, Happy Youth, Flight Ready, and Just a Sock, A New Job, Calmed Down, and that's about it. So there's quite a few here. And what I mean by this again is for all of these trophies, like I just said, from all the way up from a Sparkling Jump to Calmed Down over here. So the way that these work again is when you start a level, you'll have about 15 puzzles to solve. And one of those puzzles typically will be tied to one of these main characters. For example, A New Job is just going off of this one. When you get to the 3rd level in the game, I think it's Logic City, the one that we saw earlier. When you get to that 3rd level, as soon as you get off of the bus stop, you'll see this AI kind of sitting on a bench. He'll give you a mission that you'll have to go and complete, which will kind of involve you having to go through all the other missions, I think, to complete and finish his puzzle up. But once you complete his puzzle, you'll sort of see this shimmering effect outlining his character profile. And at that point, you can actually pull out your camera and take a photo of them, and that gives you a trophy. So anytime you're going through and just, if you're solving for every single puzzle in each of these levels, the main characters to look out for after you solve a specific puzzle is if they have that glowing, shimmering effect around their character profile. That means you can actually get a trophy from that particular character. There are quite a few of those, right? So there are several of these here. So just kind of keeping an eye out for those characters in particular. And again, if you're going through and just getting 100% completion, you will have to solve these puzzles for these characters and just make sure that you take a picture of them so you don't forget and don't miss the opportunity to do that in the first place. These aren't missable, so you can kind of do this whenever, but it just makes it a lot easier, so you don't have to go searching for these characters after you've gone and completed everything else. So just keep that in mind whenever you complete all of the sections of a particular level. Moving right along now, let's go past these. A true completionist, pretty straightforward. You will be getting this once you go through your 100% completion route. So just beat all the quests in the base game, pretty easy. So Employee of the Month here is actually a level specific trophy. And what I mean by that is some levels you'll have to do some random activity with your camera in order to get these trophies. They're not necessarily tied to any sort of puzzles or anything like that. They are just little environmental cute activities on the side. So in one of the levels, there's a hydraulic plant. You'll kind of come to it at a later date. I think it's actually in Storm. Let me just go down here. Stanham. So in Stanham, in Stanham, there is a hydraulic plant basically that you can go to. And when you get to that plant, you'll see this wall on the inside. You'll see this wall of Employee of the Month photographs, but on the bottom right, there's going to be one that's black and like grayed out. You know, there's no photo for that particular frame. So what you have to do actually is you, as your character, you have to stand in front of that frame and then put your camera on a tripod and take a picture of your character in front of that empty frame. And that'll sort of be like, oh, you're employee of the month. And which actually kind of prompts like a really funny cutscene after that. This one's really cute. This one's really fun. This one, it really is like a level specific activity. But if you're kind of going for this one, just keep in mind when you see that hydraulic plant with a bunch of characters inside, and there's like a wall of portraits on the top left of the plant, you know, that's sort of what this trophy relates to. Moving aside from that one, we've got cosplayer here, which in addition to completing all of the quests in the game, you actually have to get all of the items in the game. And there are a couple of hidden chests that are sort of populated throughout each of the levels. They're not like too hidden, and anything that maybe you couldn't find on an initial playthrough, you can always check out a guide specifically for those items, but they're very easy. You know, when you start the game, you're given these prompts to like, you can actually rotate the game world. So all you have to do really sometimes is just kind of rotate the current level that you're on to reveal some of these hidden item boxes. But once you equip every base item in the game once, right, you'll get this cosplayer trophy. And this actually ties into the all geared up trophy, where you have to collect all of these items in the first place. Most of these will be given to you just naturally playing through the game, you know, going for 100% completion, finding all the hidden treasure boxes or like item boxes, things like that. So cosplay and all geared up should tie into one another. I think there was like maybe one item that I was missing, but it was only because I hadn't completed one of the ongoing photography quests. And there's one quest in particular that actually starts out on level 1, and you're not gonna be able to complete it until you finish the game. So that's sort of the outlier. I think you get a mask from that one in particular. So just kind of go through again and try and complete all the quests, and you'll get all of the gear naturally. Just make sure you talk to characters after you complete their quests, because sometimes they may give you items. But I did skip one. I skipped collect them all, which is photograph all compendium creatures from the base game. This actually ties into yet another trophy in the trophy list, which is photographing all of the development team's animals. So look at those cuties and collect them all. Those tie in together. So in the game, you can take photos of people, right? You can take photos of locations, like a hotel, for example, you know, a beach resort in the expansion game. Like there's certain things things you can take photos of. You can actually take photos of creatures in the game. Every time you take a photo of a creature, it adds to your creature compendium, and you have to fill that entirely, you know, you have to complete that compendium as part of the 100% completion, you know, platinum trophy route. So not only do you have to do all of the base game puzzles, right, you also have to take photos of all the creatures in the game, and there aren't too many. There are quite a few, but there aren't like hundreds of thousands of creatures, and some of those creatures actually tie into specific quest lines, you know, puzzles, things like that. But you do have to keep that in the back of your head. Whenever you see a new creature you haven't noticed before, take a picture of it. Okay, moving down to this one, You Found Us. This one's sort of, you know, it's not too clear as to what the heck this trophy really is. All you really have to do when you go to Oaklaville, which is, I believe, the first section of the game after you go from your Nana's house, you're going to come across this hotel. It's pretty hard to miss. Like, I think it's after you go from the bus stop, it's the first main section of that level. If you go into the hotel, and inside the hotel lobby, if you whip out your camera, look up and zoom all the way in with your camera zoom and hold for like a couple of seconds, you'll see like this little progress reticle that starts to fill up. And ultimately, you know, after that completes, you'll get this trophy. The dev team, I think, just hid like a little Easter egg in there for players who are kind of just messing around and trying to find like hidden details. This is one of them. Next here is the beginning, start your adventure, pretty straightforward. You'll get that automatically when you start the game. Pet a pet. As you're going and actually photographing all development team animals here for look at those cuties, if you just walk up to any of them and pet them, there's like a little prompt that'll come up to say pet the animal or something. You'll get that trophy as well for who's a good boy. The next batch of trophies here, City Professional, Nature's Showstopper, Calm as the Sea, The Biggest Hurdle, Business Executed, and Strong as an Oak, Seaworthy, Ice Fighter. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So Ice Fighter, all of these guys here, anything that says, you know, complete the photo challenges, right? Or complete all quests, because there's a couple of things. So you have like each world that you'll go to, right? Like Logic City, Oaklaville, Stoneham, things like that. You'll have, you know, 20 puzzles to solve within each of those regions, but then you'll also get these photo challenges. The photo challenges are typically pretty vague, right? Like photograph some like crazy event in this section of the game. It's pretty they try to withhold as much information from you as possible to really examine your environment and figure out exactly like what the photo challenges are. Naturally, they start off very easy in Oaklaville's case, and then they progressively get a little bit more abstract, and you kind of have to work for what it is that you're trying to take a photo of. And the other thing too to kind of mention with these photo challenges is it's actually better for you to solve some of the regular puzzles in the map before you start doing the photo challenges, because some of the events that happen from doing the regular challenges or the regular puzzles in the game will actually give you a leg up on doing the photo challenges. For example, one photo challenge has you photograph an alien or of some kind. And the only way you can get the photograph of the alien is if you do some other activity that will get you to have the alien show up in the first place. So it is kind of contingent on, at times it's contingent on you doing some of the other quests in order to fulfill these photo challenges. But anytime you see a photo challenge trophy here, so there's a couple of them, right? Anytime you see those photo challenge trophies, that just means do all the specific photo challenges in these respective levels. So those are those trophies, but then you have completing all the quests. So again, completing all the quests in each of the respective levels of the game. And the photo challenges count as quests in general. So that means just do all the photo challenges. You'll unlock all the photo challenges trophies, but then you also have to do the photo challenges with the regular puzzles for each of the levels, and then you'll get all these complete all quest trophies. Alrighty, so now we're getting to the final few here where we're actually talking about photograph based trophies that are specific to each of the levels. They're not necessarily, some of them are tied to special events, or some of them are tied to puzzles that you'll have to solve for in those levels. But a grand, majority of them you'll just kind of have to, it'll come with it naturally will come with 100% completion that you'll be doing. But some of them you'll just have to kind of make sure that you note as you're playing the game. The one in particular to note is just photograph Nana's house. This is something that you do very early on, right? So like as soon as you take a photo of that location, you'll get a trophy. A voyage underwater, this photograph the smiling huntsman. This actually comes in the Stoneham level as well. You'll actually see there's like a little manhole that you can go through, and it'll take you to this underground location. You're underwater, like this underwater location, I should say. And while you're underground, you can actually see that there's a ship off in the distance. If you zoom all the way in and take a photo of that ship, you'll get this trophy as well. So most of these, again, are going to come from just the 100% completion route that you'll be doing naturally, right, to get all the quest lines completed and all the photography challenges and things like that. Another example would be a majestic hotel, photograph the Oak Hotel from the vantage point. This, again, can be done super early on. This is actually one of the requirements to complete the bellhops challenge in the hotel from Oaklaville, which I kind of talked about. That's where you get the hidden trophy for the You Found Us. So these are specifically, again, take pictures of certain locations, certain buildings in each of those locations, and then you'll get these trophies as well. And they're all typically, one per each of the levels. The same also goes for Experience Toem. This is the final trophy that you may or may not earn in this game. It wasn't for me. This was actually the second to last final trophy in the game, just because there's one other quest that involves you having to get to the very end of the game to find one of the other hints for another puzzle from the previous level. So photograph Toem, this is basically at the end of the game when you complete your journey, you'll kind of go up on the top of this mountain and you'll take a picture of this phenomena that's known as Toem. The very last trophy here to talk about, Slow and Steady. This is one that you probably won't get just naturally playing the game. I did not get this one just playing the game naturally. So Slow and Steady, what an amazing race. That was thrilling action all over. So this one actually is just a random event that takes place, and let me just show up. This is a silver, by the way. So this actually is an event that takes place in the first level, Oaklaville, and what you have to do is you'll come across this. I believe it's just one of the sections of the first level, but you'll come across this this one portion of the level where you'll see a stump, like a cut down tree stump, and then you'll see a snail on the floor with a flag right next to it, or across from it. And what you have to do actually is you have to walk over to the stump, sit on the stump, and then as you sit on the stump, you'll see the snail in the grass just start to slowly move. It'll slowly move, and you have to sit there for I think 2 or 3 minutes, and then once the snail completes its little race, once the snail gets to the finish line that's set up, you'll get this trophy. So again, this isn't really one that you don't need to do this for 100% completion. You don't have to do this for any sort of puzzles in particular. You just don't have to do that. You do have to take a photo of the snail for your compendium, but you might not think about oh, there's a stump here, let me go sit on it and see what happens. That's not a normal thing, I feel or unless you're really exploring all the environments and trying to see how certain things react, if anything happens if I sit on this stump, right? But yeah, that's about it, everybody. So we did all of the visit trophies. We did the slow and steady trophy, which is a little bit less obvious there. We did all the photograph specific events trophies. We did all of the complete all the quest trophies here. We did all the complete the photo challenge trophies here. And then we also did some miscellaneous trophies like petting an animal, finding the development team in the first level, collecting all the gear, right? Things like that. And then we also did all of the, capture these photos for these specific NPC characters in each of the levels. And the only other thing is, walking 1,000 miles. But that will get you the Toem Platinum Trophy. And again, it's only 37 trophies because, right, 38 is including the Platinum. So it's only 37 trophies. And overall, when I'm talking about just like the enjoyment of the trophy list, the overall experience I had with Toem, this is a very great trophy list, right? You just play the game, you kind of experience the core mechanics, you have fun just taking photos and solving puzzles, and also interacting with the game world in some way. So overall, I would say that the overall enjoyment that I had with this game was like 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed this game. I loved all the trophies, and it was very fun for me personally. And when it comes to how easy this game was, it was also like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Very, very easy game. Very, very easy overall. So if you were on the fence about maybe trying out Toem for yourself, you weren't sure, oh, am I going to like Toem? What is Toem? And sort of, things like that. Totally check it out. Also, if you were kind of debating on whether or not you'd want to platinum this game, maybe it's in your backlog and it's something that you have on your radar to play, I would also recommend playing Toem, going for the Platinum Trophy. It is very easy, it is very fun, and you'll have a good time with it overall. So thanks again, everybody, for stopping by for another video here on the channel. If you want to see more stuff like this, I will be doing even more post-platinum reviews in the future, so stick around for those, and I will see you all on the next video.